Okay, welcome back, MindShifters. Welcome to a new trading week. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift, and this is your Sunday weekly review. So, from the calendar, you guys can see that we do have some red folders here. Particularly the ones to watch out for are going to be later on in the week. We have some high impact news here on Thursday, which is for Euro, the main refinancing rate, and the monetary policy statement, right? U.S. session, 8:30 a.m. We've got core retail sales, and unemployment claims. And I think that this is probably going to be the day that we watch out for the most volatility. We got the ECB press conference following that at 8:45. Okay, but the rest of the week I think is pretty tame. We do have a bank holiday on Monday, which is Columbus Day for US. So we might see a little bit less activity at the start of the week for Monday. But then going forward, you can see that we have red folders on Tuesday, Wednesday, and also Friday, one each. And they are all in the London session, right? So GBP, claim account change, CPI on Wednesday, and then retail sales on Friday. Okay, so but obviously the main thing we're going to be watching for is Thursday, what the effect of this and the ECB press conference, and the other ones also will have an effect, but obviously this is going to have probably the most effect and the highest volatility this week. So watch out on Thursday. But let's take a look at the charts. We're going to go over to the DXY monthly chart. Okay, and following up from last week, you can see here, we do have this big bullish candle that is forming, okay, to basically give us the swing low here after taking out the internal low of the range and then just kind of retracing back into this monthly imbalance. So we're trying to make it back into the monthly OB, filling in the imbalance here. So we're going to be looking for price to continue to retrace back up the range. Now this is a monthly candle. Let's drop down to the weekly. And what you'll see here is that from last week when we ended with this big bullish candle, we have continuation, right? So we did continue back up, albeit a smaller candle here, but we are making our way back into the weekly points of interest. So if we drop the weekly on the chart here, I'm going to be targeting this OB and imbalance as the next one up the range, right? You can see that we haven't actually broken outside of the major structural range, which is this high and this low. We're still kind of ping-ponging in between, but keep in mind that these are weekly candles, right? So this is taking a long time to kind of play out, but what we are in is a consolidation, and we have been for a long time. But we've just come off of the deep discount level here, and we've had a pretty strong bullish reaction. So we're going to continue to look for dollar to be bullish this week and continue up to, some premium points of interest here. So we are reaching the equilibrium and the premium areas. So we should see some price turnaround after that, but we're going to look for continuation from following up from last week, which is this big bullish move here. All right. So if we go to the daily chart and take a look at what's going on there, drop down to the daily markups. Okay, we can see a very clear break of structure after price had just swept the structural lows, right? The significant low here just below the 150 mark, almost dipped into the $100 level, but didn't quite get there. But we did get a nice big liquidity grab here, and then a very strong push to the upside here, which broke the internal structure. So swing low is in place here, and now just retracing, as I said, back up the range into premium territory. This is the refined point of interest here, the weekly point of interest refined to the daily, OB and imbalance, which we're now targeting. So we're going to look for price to tread back up to that level here, looking at above 103.50, okay, into the 104 range if possible, right, for the continuation. And let's drop down to the 4 hour to see if we can get a little bit more clarity on that. So 4 hour, as you can see, after the break of structure here to the left, basically small retracements, okay, but then continuation up. So after this big strong move here, a little retracement, another strong move up, creating a swing high now, right, and looking for a pullback into the range. Obviously, we could see price reverse here and come back down, but we're going to be looking to continue to hold bullish structure. So we're looking for price to hold the low here and the OB at the low, right? And the retracement back into the range, creating another higher low here, and then the continuation up. So essentially looking for something like this, and then the move up into those premium areas. Okay, so initially we'll probably be looking for a retracement, okay, on the DXY, coming back inside the range here, looking for that higher low reaction inside of this consolidation, okay, and then looking for the moves back up afterwards. So the news might give us you know, a move later on in the week, so this might happen later on when we get the Euro news, right? But the beginning of the week, remember, we also have a bank holiday, so we might see probably not much movement on Monday, right, to start the week. All right, so let's see if this plays out the way as intended. Let's go over to euro dollar. So contrast this with euro dollar right now. Okay, so from a monthly perspective on the euro, we are inside of this consolidation still, right? Still looking for price to run above the internal high here as we reach into higher premiums of the bigger range, but still kind of inside of this big monthly consolidation. Okay, we had just taken out an internal high over here, right, and retraced back into the monthly OB. So you can see we just kind of came back into the top of that OB here, and then looking for a reaction, right? So essentially looking for price to continue up from there, holding this last low here, right? If we go down to the weekly and take a look at the weekly, we can also see a little bit clearer after taking out the internal high over here, respecting this high over here. Okay, so again, just like the dollar, we are inside of this bigger range still consolidating. All right, so we have not broken out of that range yet, but in this case here, it's the opposite. We've taken some premium liquidity and reacted to points of interest here. So a nice strong reaction from the premium, now moving down into the discount areas, right? So looking for the next target, which will be this low here, and that is sitting at 107.85 or thereabouts, right? We do have the reaction to the bullish OB here. I mean, that could be it, or you can also see the one below here as well. But if we see price holding that low, we could see another higher low form here and then the continuation up. But generally, we'll probably be looking to see what happens with this OB here first, okay? Because we could see price continue down. But if we go to the daily chart, right, and we see the reaction here to the weekly OB area, we can actually refine this on the daily, okay, to this point of interest right here, and you can see that price is digging into that right now. So we've got a reaction here. We've got a nice swing low with a wick, right? We can see if this continues to the upside and retraces back up from this reaction, or if we continue down to a lower point of interest, which would be the next one would be down here. Okay, and if you remember, let's drop down to the 4. If you remember, we're looking for the dollar to give us a move down initially to start the week, and then the continuation up afterwards. So we'll flip the script here on EU. We'll look for a continuation up to start the week here, and then a continuation down afterwards, right? So nice swing low put in here in place. You can see nice kind of railroad track formation, right? Fast up, fast down. We would need to see a change of character above, so price taking out the high here to then trade up into this range here, and looking for points of interest in the premium up here. Right, or actually taking out the structure would probably be more likely, right? Filling the imbalance here and then going up the range. That's overall the bigger picture, what we're looking for price to do. So, you know, something like this, where now we're getting this, we'll get this break to give us the change of character, right? And then coming back down here, holding that low, and then eventually going back up, right? Or something close to that is what we'd like to see. So establishing the low here, getting the change of character here, price respecting the low, and then continuing up and pulling back into the range higher, right? So if we can get something like that to start the week here, that would be fantastic. and that is euro dollar. So then let's go over to GU. Remember, keep in mind that we have the euro refinancing rate news on Thursday, so we might see price get up there here and then give us the reaction here on Thursday, or take out the high here on Thursday. It might need news to actually get up to those levels here and see what we want to see happen. Right, so going over to GU now, I'll contrast that with GU. On the monthly, we can see that we have hit a monthly key level, right? So we have the reaction to the monthly OB here after filling the imbalance. We'd also taken out this short-term high as we did that, and we had the reaction, which is right now, as you can see, this big bearish candle, right? So the reaction from the point of interest giving us the reaction. So we're going to be looking for continuation down into the monthly OB down here, or basically just down the monthly range, right? If we are continuing to be bullish, if we will continue to be bullish on this, we're still going to be expecting price to retrace to give us the higher low and then continue up, right? So it could be this order block. I'm just using this as the most the closest one. But ideally, we're going to be looking for price to hold this one here because that is the lowest one, which creates the swing low here. So looking for price to do something like this, right? Trade into that and then move up afterwards. So this is the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. All right, and as you can see, the monthly, let's put the monthly back up just for 1 minute. Okay, here's the monthly OB level. Okay, and we're looking for price to react to this. So this has tapped into it here on the weekly, which means that we could be looking for the weekly move down into this point of interest here. Okay, and then continuation from there. So just like EU again, initially looking for a move down to start the week, okay, and then possibly looking for a reaction here and back up afterwards, right? And obviously that could all change with the high impact news on Thursday. We'll take this day by day. Obviously this is just the start of the week, right? As things progress and as things change throughout the week, this could, obviously be different, but this is how I'm seeing it right now as the market open. So if we go to the daily chart, and we take a look at the daily structure, we can look for price to continue down, as I said. Okay, and you can see that we're already very close to this low here. So we'll just be looking for a break below this level, and we'll be looking for a retracement back up first, right, to create what will be here as like the right shoulder of this head and shoulders pattern, and then looking for the continuation down after that. Right, you can see we can here's the left shoulder over here, here's the head, here's the right shoulder. Okay, we have the change of character here with an imbalance, so there's a nice overlap of a POI right here. So I'd like to see a reaction to that level and then giving us the short and the continuation down through this level, right? So if we can get that, that would be great. So initially, let's go to the 4 hour here. Okay, so again, looking for the move up first, right? Trading into some key areas, right? The imbalance here, and the OB and the overlap, right? With the change of character, and then afterwards getting the move down and lower. Okay, so again, at the end of the week, maybe the news, the EU news. Obviously, this is GU, but indirectly we'll see some, price influence from EU news to GU, and GU will also move accordingly. And we'll see if we can get that, right? So this is what I'll look for here on GU. Pretty straightforward. Initially, to start the week, we'll look for a move up, okay? And then we'll get a reaction into these levels here, and then look for a setup down. That'll be like a midweek reversal, right? And then the setup short, continuing the longer term trend, which is now bearish, okay? Dropping over to gold next. So not much we could say here about gold. I mean, it's just been going up and up and up. We have hit a level where price is sort of, kind of petering out here and stopping. But, overall, it's still very bullish, as you can see, right? So if we drop to the weekly, we can get a little bit more structure going here, but we have created a weekly swing high, okay? And we did get a confirmation of the 3-bar by trading below the previous week's low, okay? So right now, what we'd like to see is for price basically just to hold the high that we just made. so that we can get some kind of retracement. Even if we are going to continue to be bullish, we'd like to see price create the swing high, give us a retracement, and then continue up from there, right? And so we have a couple areas that we're watching for. Obviously the first one over here, which is the weekly OB, and this little tiny imbalance fill. Okay, and then mitigating the break of the structure over here and the bigger consolidation if we go below that. But initially just looking for price to confirm that the swing high is being created here, and then seeing a price move down, right? So if we go to the daily chart, okay, we can see that there is a definite swing high structure, okay, but we can see that price is reacting pretty strongly to this daily OB here and the imbalance, right? So the overlap between the OB and the imbalance, we have a reaction and a pretty strong move to the upside. So watching to see if price will hold the high, and that's going to be the all important question is, do we hold the high, or do we get a reaction from the high that actually starts the reversal, right? We've been looking for, and a lot of people are speculating on the reversal here on gold here. So, you know, as I said before, they're going to likely move it or consolidate, or, you know, just continue to hold the structure until enough liquidity has been, you know, kind of gathered here, and then they're going to make a big move, right? So whether or not we see the price hold here, or if we see price, you know, take out the high and then come down, what we need to see to start thinking about, you know, shorting gold here is that big shift and the structure, you know, shifting. So we don't see that yet. We just see basically order flow continuing to hold bullish, and so we will continue to look for bullish setups as the higher probability trade setup. All right, so if we go to the 4 hour here, we can take a look at the 4 hour reaction. Okay, this was the daily reaction here, so there's not really a refined point that we can see very clearly on the 4 hour chart, but we can see that there was a low here that was taken trading into a imbalance here, and then also the mitigation of this wick high over here, which was incidentally some kind of, you know, news wick. Okay, so having a reaction to that level there is, you know, not surprising. And then we see that price did come up, and let's take a look at the 4 hour here. So we had a minor sweep here of the low, and then a big change of character with a big push up. Okay, so likely we're going to see price continuing to go higher from here. If we get a retracement, okay, we'll look for the reaction to the first OB here. And there certainly will be a nicer area on the lower time frame, okay? But essentially we'll look for a market open retracement back into that range, okay? Could be here or here, but then eventually a move back up and through, okay? Just like EU, just like GU, and then opposite of the dollar, okay? So pretty straightforward. Look for that in the New York session to form if possible, because this is gold, right? And also, you know, looking for possibly a consolidation before the news event on Thursday, which may be triggering that event, right? So we can look for probably a quiet week in the beginning, but then as we end, as we near towards the end of the week here, you know, Thursday and Friday, Thursday being the big heavy news, then we can probably see some more movement and some setups for them. Right, so that should be for gold, or at least that's the outlook I have for gold here. And then last but not least, NASDAQ. Okay, monthly, we can see that we're holding the monthly OB here with the big wick, right? And price has continued to push higher, although it's having a difficult time, you know, trading above that last high that we created. So again, potentially a very, you know, good spot for this to be a reversal. But again, not really seeing, you know, strong confirmations just yet. In this case here on the weekly, we can see that price did give us a really strong pullback here, but again, did not see a change of character, did not see a break of this low here, right? So this higher low and the continuation that we see here, that's still going pretty strong, likely going to be taking out the high here, or at least very close to it. Okay, so we'll look for price to continue its move to the upside here. The high here above this level, at least on this chart, is 20,792. So I mean, we're very close to that 21K territory, and that, you know, could be where we want to run, given the order flow is still very bullish. Right, so if we go to the daily chart here and we take a look at daily structure, we can also see that daily has also continued to be bullish, right? You can see price breaking the higher highs, holding the lower lows, right? There's the next higher high there. Trading back into this daily point of interest here, which we initially got the reaction from this, which did not go anywhere. Okay, you can see we had the reaction, but then we continued to push up through. So I'm going to be looking for price to continue through the last high that we made here, at least, and then push up a little bit higher into this daily OB level. Okay, so maybe looking for a return at least back into the 20,500 level, and then, like I said, making a push up to 21K, after that. Right, so if we go to the 4-hour and we take a look at the reaction here, you can see that price is holding pretty steadily at the very extreme of the H4 range, okay, H4 OB here, and we are seeing price holding that level, seeing consolidation. However, I'm not very convinced that it is going to sell off yet until we see the big shift, right, like this. And notice that, even though we got that big shift over here and we even got a change of character, right, it does not mean that price continued to go short, right, because we did not break that structure. So still looking at, price inside of this range here and being bullish. So likelihood of the high being traded through at this point is pretty good. And they're just creating that liquidity above here for price to run through afterwards. So we could look for a retracement back into these levels down here. First, okay, we have a nice OB down here with some internal lows we could take as liquidity, a little inducement into that point of interest before going up again, right? Or we could go a little bit lower than that as well, and you can see that we have a nice imbalance here, and we need to mitigate that swing high as well. So a little overlap with an imbalance, that usually makes for a good POI, and in the discount of the range as well, right? So if we do get an initial move down or a continuation from this resistance here, then we can look for a move into the discount POI here, making a higher low, and then eventually continuing higher, right? And the reason I say that is because, once again, it's still inside of this range here. So we have to kind of play within the confines of this range until we get the breakout, and then we can look for the continuation in either direction, whichever that happens to be, because we don't have it yet, right? So it's obviously very close to the high here, so the likelihood of it breaking through the high is much greater than coming back down and breaking this low. So we'll have to see what the market does, how it opens, okay, and then obviously how the Thursday news will affect this as well. Okay, and so that is pretty much the rundown, guys. I know it's been a little bit challenging these couple weeks trading these pairs because they're in consolidation. So that just means you got to be a lot more patient with your setups. Try taking, setups a little bit, closer to, or when you see price taking liquidity in those key areas that you're looking for. Okay, that's going to be paramount, taking the daily highs, the daily lows, and not trading inside of, the ranges, right, where you can be easily stopped out or where your bias can be completely turned on its head, right, in one swift move. So for those of you that have not already, go ahead and check out the link in the description to join our free membership. These videos and these Sunday weekly reviews are posted in our membership, the free content level, before I post these up on YouTube. So you'll get them a little bit earlier than when I post them up. And for those of you that are interested in the VIP and the daily analysis, obviously this is the weekly analysis, but in the VIP community, I go through a day-by-day run through of the setups and the things that I expect to happen throughout the day as things change. So with the news and as the news comes out and each day changes, obviously things will change based on the analysis from the beginning of the week versus to the end of the week, right? So if you want the day-to-day analysis and the updates from that, I would encourage you guys to join the VIP community, and you guys can do that through the link in the video as well. From the free membership, you can upgrade to the VIP at any time. But if you have any other questions, you guys can also message me in the community there, and I will respond to you from there. If you have any questions on the analysis for this week, you can drop some comments on the video if you want to. Otherwise, you can also reach me directly via Telegram. and all of that is in the description below. But that is going to do it for this weekly review. So if you guys are finding it difficult to trade in the last couple weeks, I can understand. Obviously, we are in consolidation, but there are some opportunities there that you can kind of pick and choose if you know where to look for. All right, so good luck with your trading this week, guys, and that's going to do it for this video. We will see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Feel me.